We've done it. Are we in? We're recording, right? We're good. It's actually our anniversary today, Smoove. You're celebrating our birthday with us.
I'm an avid listener, so I'm great to see the journey. Happy birthday.
We've got an avid listener on the podcast, the legend himself. I've seen him last week. I've seen him twice in a week, and before that, I didn't see him for like 6 years.
It's like London buses, mate. You wait ages and then two
you
come at once.
It's like, I'm seeing you. He walks in, he's like, I'm seeing you too much, stylist. Like what? Twice in 6 years.
Never too much.
I'm not that bad. Martin Too Smoove in the building.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing, my bro?
Yeah, good. How are you
good?
guys?
All good, man. Good. We're here for the day. Yeah, we're just gonna try and churn these out, man. Obviously, I've come down from Manny. Double lives in Brighton.
Maidstone. I don't live in Brighton.
Because everyone associates you with Brighton, right?
I've been saying it for time, man.
As a DJ, that is where I'm from.
Yeah.
That was where, as a DJ, I was raised. Like, I actually grew up near to Brighton, so...
Yeah.
But in like a country
I don't know why I started saying that.
So,
I don't know. How
countryside village. So as DJ Double, yeah, I do associate myself from Brighton. But he always says I live in Brighton. And then the people from Brighton get onto me because I don't actually live in Brighton.
He's a Brighton boy.
But yeah, DJ wise, that's where
that's
where DJ Double was born, essentially.
I feel like when I was at Atlantic, when I came out of uni, I interned for ages, and I used to send you records, and I'm sure you had gave me feedback from Brighton clubs and stuff. Yeah.
See that, when you had to fill out the feedback sheets.
Oh,
when they would send out the vinyls and you got the paper sheet. Like now it's just like, yeah, dope. Or even a click now sometimes.
We don't even. I just type any word just to get access to the track. Sorry.
It's two. Dope, cool. That's my two. I get sent the tunes off.
Some days, if I'm feeling generous, I might leave a comment. Like it depends on my mood.
The thing is,
then if I'm in a quick one, it's just like click.
I download everything and listen in the car.
Okay.
Because I do so much driving, so I don't listen. I don't sit at the computer and listen at home. I ain't got time, so I'm download. But when you need the word, when you need to put feedback in to unlock the track, it's dope or it's cool.
Yeah.
DJ City got rid of the feedback thing completely now.
Did they?
Yeah,
it's just like a click thing.
Sick.
Because obviously play will know it. Play knows.
Digiwax is still like the lot.
I used to use Digiwax.
The form hasn't changed.
Do you still use that?
Yeah, occasionally, because they'll put up like, not so much now, but they used to put up whole albums, clean albums of American artists. Yeah, that's what they started to do. So you click on one and the whole album's there, but the clean version. So that's why I'm still using Digiwax. But that you literally, it's like, where were you born? What colour are your eyes? What's your mum's maiden name?
It's an American one though, Digiwax, right? It's from the States.
Yeah, it's long.
Have you ever been caught out with clean tracks?
Yes, American edits. It's funny because
they have a different level of cursing, don't they, man? They let the stuff slip.
I mean, I have not to plug it or anything, shameless plug, but I have a sideline business that I do, cleaning songs.
Really?
Yeah, called trackwisemedia.com.
I should get the Nike DJs on that.
So I've got like, I do stuff for like Sony Music, Universal, like all of them, the record labels who send me projects and I clean it up. And that was born out of working on community radio and having to clean up the clean edits from America. And I remember Chucky being one of the people, funnily, he said, he was like, I hate cleaning songs. And then I was just sat there cleaning it. And then one day, do you remember DJ La Rizzle?
Yeah.
He said to me something about, we used to do a radio show together, and he said about how many I had cleaned. He said, well, how many have you got track-wise? Meaning how many songs have I cleaned? And I was like,
is that where you got the name from?
Track-wise. That's a sick.
It's actually a sick. It's a sick.
So
it's
that's
a sick brand, man.
So yeah, the American edits are usually terrible. Especially it's something about the last chorus. It can be clean all the way through. Can be clean all the way through, and then the last chorus would just be horrendous.
I've had a few tellings off on when I was doing local radio in Manchester years ago, and then it was like a free strike and you're out thing, man, because you were kind of left to vet your own cleans. Obviously, one extra, the higher levels, they'll go over it. Producers will check it and all that. It was a bit different, so it's kind of left with you. I slipped a couple times, man. So, and it was always American. It was always American edits. Obviously, in the UK, it's like you can't say too much in it. Like when it comes to airwaves,
there's a lot of really strict. I know I had to read up on these rules as well. Like I had to read the Ofcom book to understand what I was doing.
Really?
But, read.
Double had to study the Ofcom Bible,
because I wanted to approach the record labels with a product, and now I can say to them like, this is Ofcom ready. Like if you come to me, I will make sure the song abides by Ofcom regulations. That means sexual references, no drug references. I know all the slang and the lingos and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
because sometimes a lot of people don't even know the slang, and like some of it's so new. Like you need to be up.
Yeah, people are singing these words and don't even know what they're even singing. Are they just learning the words, kind of thing?
Exactly. And there was a lot of American records. They might have the word like Bomberclot or Rasclot in there, and not realise like you can't play that on radio
Nah.
because there's a whole demographic of people that are going to be really offended if they hear it. Do you know what I mean? So it's crazy.
Smoove, we've been wanting to get you on for time, man. Like,
I wanted to be on. For
I see your Instagram. Like, I'm plugged into what you're doing, and you're like living the sickest life out here, bro. Like,
don't get it twisted.
No, man. This guy touring, like gumball, like crazy corporate stuff. I was like, we gotta get Smoove on to share some stories and a little bit of a breakdown, man. Come on.
You only ever see the highlights on Instagram.
I hear
Don't get
that.
it twisted.
I hear that.
I remember, like, I come back off tour with Eve, and we spent the whole summer in America, and then Hanif, I work with a lot, one of the baddest promoters in the city. He goes, "Yeah, are you free bank holiday Monday?" I thought, yeah, he's going to give me a good slot. And then I got there early, and he puts me on the tills. So the whole summer, I was playing in arenas, the stadiums, or whatever, with Eve and Gwen Stefani. And then I was in the till.
Yes, you need friends like that to keep you, just to keep you on the level, innit? Like,
yeah, you don't see that bit on Instagram, but yeah.
We talk about clubs a lot. We talk about our sets a lot. Like, but one thing I've never like toured like on a bigger level. I did stuff for Me Should Be. I'm not sure if you've done like any tour bits.
Yeah, I toured with Flocker. Yeah, Waka Flocker.
Oh yeah, you did the Flocker shows.
And then I've done like smaller club tours like last week.
Yeah, it was the same. It was the same with Me Should Be, which was obviously short lived.
Did you guys enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. Like, it was completely different. I'd never done anything like that before, so it was completely new. Obviously, the host in the room and gassing the crowd. Obviously, I'd use mic work and stuff, but it's always in clubs and club nights. Completely different approach, and that's why I wanted to chat to you about it. Because obviously, with what you've done, you've played big stages, big crowds, but then smaller clubs. Like, how would you say like the crossover is when it comes to like prepping for each one? Like, do you approach it differently each time? Obviously, you play big club rooms, Ministry, but then you play to a crowd of like, I don't know, 20,000, whatever. Like, I've seen some pictures on your Instagram. The crowds look mad.
It doesn't really matter how many people it is, as long as you get them going. Like, you just got to connect with them musically. When I went to America, like, I thought, I'm going to tour with Eve. I'm going to play so much upfront hip hop, and then I did that on the first show, and it was with Gwen Stefani. I look at the crowd, and there's loads of middle-aged women. And I'm like, and by the end of the tour, I was playing all the Futures and stuff. And then by the end of the tour, I was just playing Michael Jackson and Prince because that's what they wanted. So it's just kind of finding out what the crowd want and then delivering that, really.
So the first time you went in, you went playing all the new shit.
Yeah, upfront trap and stuff. And then I had to pull it back.
Is Eve's demographic now? Like, 'cause obviously she's kind of old school.
Yeah,
she's still doing a thing. So they must be like over 30s and whatnot.
Yeah, it depends really. Like,
or she tapping the new people.
I feel like with Eve, not so much maybe with Gwen Stefani, but definitely with Eve, she's been able to cross over different generations of hip hop music, because you got like the early Rough Rider stuff, which would be the 30 plus, but then you got even tunes like Tambourine, which when I play it in a club now,
I still play Tambourine now, man.
Right?
Tamborine's a banger,
but you can play it in a club and see like 18, 19, 20-year-olds. They know the song and they know the lyrics. You know what I mean? So I feel like Eve's someone that probably crosses over.
Yeah, massively. I think good music is always timeless, man. And like when we did the shows in London, we had like 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, and a lot of girls buy into her music as well, man. So yeah, I think if you got good music, it'll transcend any sort of age. Generation.
How did you even meet Eve, bro?
Okay, yeah, that's
that is a mad connection.
That's a position to like land in. It's a bit mad.
I was in KFC in Hammersmith. No, not really.
So some chicken wings. Yeah.
I was Cleo Soul's DJ. Do you remember Cleo?
Yeah.
So I
she
used
was
to do
dope.
Banging, and she's come out with a lot of new stuff recently. It's like a track with Little Sims, which is hard.
I rate Cleo, man. She was sick.
Yeah, she's wicked. She's really talented, a really good person. But we did the Mobo tour, did a few shows after that for a year or so, and it kind of died down. She stopped making music at that time, and currently started making more new music. But Matchstick from Warner, I used to work for him for ages, and he hit me up going, are you free tomorrow? I need a tour DJ for an American artist. I said, yeah, I'm free. He didn't tell me who it was for, and he goes, meet me here. And I met him at Wise Buddha, which you guys probably, it's a studio. And turns out it was Eve. And then the first show did that. It was at Proud for Love Dough. It went all right. Second show was a big show. It was at GAY, because she had all the press there and everything, because it was the launch of her album Lip Lock. And I messed up the track order completely. And I remember she looked round and gave me the look of death. But she's so classy with it. Like, she just carried on.
Styled it.
Yeah,
Too professional.
she's a rock star, man. And we went back afterwards and thought, you know, I'm going to apologise. It was nice. It was fun while it lasted.
Marty thought his numbers were on the board, then, innit? It was over.
Yeah, and then she was totally cool about it. She's just a classy lady, man. And then a couple of weeks later, got a gig in Lebanon with her, and then the rest is history, man.
So why did she not have a tour DJ?
She did. She had one in America. Then she moved over because she was going out with Max, who was her boyfriend at the time, then fiance, and now married to Max. And Max lives just around here.
So Max is, right? I was going to say Maximilian.
Yeah, Max Cooper,
yeah.
He's the guy that created Gumball, the owner of Gumball, like, he's a creative G, really.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So Martin's got great friends, isn't it? Me and
you know what?
Me and Double need some new mates.
Yeah, this is something I spoke to you when we first spoke about you coming on the podcast. I mean, it's probably like at some point last year when we spoke.
Yeah,
I said I wanted to bring you on to talk a lot about like networking and building friendships.
Oh, massive, man!
You've got some incredible friends within this industry, bro. Like, I mean, like your network. I don't know anyone that networks the way you do and has the network.
And do you know what? It's all genuine and organic. It's not something that I didn't go out actively trying to be, I want to be this guy's friends. Like, it just, like, it happens. Like, you meet him one time, you have common interests.
Yeah.
You work on a project together, and then the relationship develops. But it's all organic. And, you know what? I always think your network is your net worth, really, man. Like, I'd rather have a good phone book than a big bank balance. I know people will disagree with me on that, but like, you know what? Like, relationships to me are everything, man. Like, you never know when you need a favor or when someone else needs a favor. It's so important to kind of have a good team of people around you, man.
I seen you on the gumball was that Tokyo, that last one?
Oh, mate, that was unreal. It was the week before I got married. It was the best.
That looked crazy, man. So you drive with the rest of the drivers?
No, you know what? I did it for the last 3 years. We followed the rally. The first year, it was me and Charles. We had a car, and we had security, not our security, but like the rally security, and just driving it. And DJing at the same time was just so hard.
So you drove the show, then when they did the stops, you did the sets as well?
Yeah, and it just
that's intense.
Because we weren't.
What were you driving?
We had a Mercedes G-Wagon.
Oh, okay. So
my God.
It wasn't that comfortable.
A nice big. Was it not? Are they comfortable?
No, not on long distance. It's more of a city car.
Oh, okay.
Even though it looks like a real good off-roader, but it's more of a city car. But yeah, like, because we'd be first in the club, so we'd be doing the warm-up, and then someone like Afrojack or someone like that will come on, and then we'd finish off. So we'd be there from 10 till 4, then we'd have to be up again at like 7 or 8 to start driving again. So it just wasn't healthy, man, driving. And
the driving's harsh on you anyway, like sat in the same place.
Yeah.
Getting out, then hosting the set, and then
it was
maybe drinking.
Yeah.
Did you drink on that trip?
I can't remember when I was sober.
Come on, son. I just remember seeing the picture with in the dojo, and you had your kit on, and then Usher was just there, just flexing.
Oh, I think, did you have headbands on?
Yeah, me and Andy, we got in the spirit. We got all Japanese, got into the Japanese spirit, so to speak, man. Like, we had the Japanese sweatbands on and like Japanese coloured tracksuits, so we just thought we'd get in.
Yeah, I remember that picture. Was that was last year's one, right?
Yeah, it was in last August, yeah, man.
Yeah.
So you've been in the game for time, bro. Like, we had breakfast the other morning. We had a good conversation. Obviously, it was short-lived because you had to shoot back. Like, how did you even get into this, bro? Because you from the events to the touring to doing the gumball. Like, I feel like you're kind of plugged into a little bit of everything. But where did Martin start out, man? Has it always been a music thing?
Yeah, always been a music thing, man. That's what I think all of us. That's one thing that all DJs, all proper DJs have in common.
Real DJs
love for music, man.
Tell them again.
Like, I remember when I was at college before I went to uni. Like, I'd have lunch money and that, but I wouldn't spend it on lunch. I'd buy records from HMV or your local record shop. I couldn't really afford Uptown Records back then, man. It was expensive. Like, people don't know the struggle, man. Like, £12 for one song at one point. Like,
it was like, minimum. You were looking like £7-8 for just like a single.
No, you know what? I know I might have got done here, but I paid £25 was the most I ever paid for a single. And it was an AV8 record. Do you remember the AV8?
Yeah, that's what Batman Scoop.
And it was the party breaks.
I think it was B Face Faithful. It was before Be Faithful got released and was only $2.99 from HMV.
It was all on AV8, wasn't it?
It was all on AV8 Records, which like was the Party Breaks label.
Yeah.
And they were like gold dust in Brighton. They came into the record store. You had to snap them up quick.
Yeah.
So obviously JJ, the guy who owned the record store, was called Mike Check in Brighton. And he obviously clocked onto this. Well, these are running out, so let's just see what all they're paying for.
£25 for a single vinyl.
I think
yeah,
I paid
you got
£25
shafted, Dubs.
Possibly.
That's intense.
But I've got it, so it's
I
cool.
hear that.
And I
Have
had
you
it
got
set
still
right.
guys got your vinyl? Have you got your?
I actually got rid of my turntables, man.
Yeah.
I kept my
I
vinyl.
bet he hates
Yo,
that, don't he?
I'll put it online that I was selling my turntables. Instant DM. What you gonna call yourself now then? You can't be stylist anymore. I was like, he's got a good point. But I've had stylists since high school, man.
Part of your name.
Yeah, I can't change
brand,
it.
man.
But I've semi-parred it, really, if you think about it. Like,
Yeah, fully pilot.
but I've had to move with it, man. The clubs ain't catering for turntables.
Oh, it's
up
hard,
there.
man.
It's like it's hard.
I
Like,
don't know how you do it, like
he
because
carries them sometimes.
yeah,
Like,
but that's
it's
you
just-
guarantee they're well serviced, they're looked after. Like
No.
not at
Absolutely
all.
not. They haven't been
Not at
serviced for
all.
about 5 years. And they're all dusty. They've got club dust all over them. But yeah, I mean, it's like one of the things to go back to your question. Yeah, I've got my whole vinyl collection. Actually, not my whole vinyl collection, because what I did was when I moved house, I realised I was going to have to, I had so much, and I was like, right, let me cull the collection.
yeah, because there's a lot of promos that you probably never want.
Oh, yeah, they used to send
like
out so
Blazing
many.
Squad or something like that.
Flow Rider Low never came out the sleeve. I
Really?
still had the sealed vinyl.
That was a banger back in the day,
That
bro.
was a
But I
banger,
never
man.
played it
Come
on
on.
vinyl. I think I had it. It came out after I was on Serato,
Okay, right.
but I still got sent the vinyl. So it was. I played it, of course, but I never used the vinyl. So I had a thing when I was culling my vinyl collection. It was, firstly, is it a song that I like and would listen to again,
Yeah.
just at home? If it is, it stays. Secondly, if I had to do like a nostalgic DJ set anywhere, if I would pack that in my set,
Yeah.
it stays. And then the third one was, is it rare?
Yeah.
Or did I pay £25 for it and it's only one song? So I still got Be Faithful from Fat Man Scoop. And anything outside of that category
Had to
went
go.
straight to the charity shop.
I heard Trevor said he was clearing out his collection. I saw an interview with him recently, and he goes, "If he didn't remember what the song went like, it went."
It's gone.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, that's a
It's
pretty,
not left a
that's
mark.
a
Yeah.
pretty cool
I can
one.
only imagine Trevor's like brain when it comes to music, though. Like encyclopedia of everything, bro. Like,
Just imagine the size of his vinyl collection, man.
yeah, true.
I can't remember what he said he was on. It was like 5,000 or something. So he must have got rid of a lot.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
definitely had
yeah.
a clear out. He
Yeah.
must have had more than that. Mine was more the garage stuff that I collect, because when I first started,
You can't
DJing,
get rid of that.
I was a garage
Yeah.
guy. That's what I started on. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like you dig out the white labels. Like I've got the original Eskimo press on white. It was like one side. Like I think Wiley had written Eskimo on it himself in black marker.
Might be
It
worth
was just
a
like
bit, mate.
scribbled on. So I've kept them, but then a lot of the stuff, promos and the R&B shit, a lot of it was throwaway, man. I did get rid of some, but I've kept like a good chunk of the collection. I just can't bring myself to get rid of it. Too many memories, man. I have a little 7-inch collection as well, which is like old reggae tracks and whatnot. I started buying 7 inches, but they're so hard to mix on. Try
And you
mixing
need
on
to-
7 inches.
You need to have that the big disc in the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah, yeah.
Like, for probably about 6 years of owning turntables, I had no idea what this little disc was for.
For real.
Until I got a 7-inch vinyl and there's a fat
That's
hole
what
in
it's
the middle.
for, yeah.
Like, hang on a minute, I reckon that's the same. Oh, it fits.
They're so temperamental. You like moving it with like one finger in that,
Yeah.
and you let it go, and then you can't you got to be tight, mate. You got to be tight.
Tricky times, mate. Tricky times. Going back to the networking thing, we've got a lot of like young and up and coming DJs that watch and listen to the podcast. It's really interesting because like I say, because you've got so many people in your network and people that you've got good relationships with, but they're not just DJs or just promoters. Like you've got
Yeah.
Piers
like-
Morgan to Trevor Nelson. Do you know what I mean? Like this huge, massive, like range and scope of people. So like, what kind of advice or like, how do people start to get people in their networks? Especially we're in an age now where it's difficult to talk to new people. Does that make sense? Because generally, like you
Do
might.
you think so? I think it's more so easier now because like we can reach out to each other online and not have a worry about
Getting shot down.
Yeah, I mean, obviously if they ignore you, then you get shut down. But like, I think it's a little bit easier now, I guess.
Okay, so maybe actually let me word it differently. Not difficult to talk to people, difficult to build relationships.
Sincere relationships.
That's the one.
That's what I think I'm
That's
trying
the
to
one.
say. Is it's difficult to build these kind of relationships where.
Yeah, you're right there.
And essentially, where you become like, if someone needs a DJ, Martin Too Smooth's the person they think about. That's obviously the aim of networking with, as a DJ. So, like, how do you get to that position with people?
I think, like, for me, it's like something that Hanif always taught me. Like, is any opportunity that comes by your way, just do it and do it properly. Like, there's some gigs that
any opportunity.
Well, a lot of them. Like, you know what? I did a gig on Saturdays for about 4 years at the Jazz Cafe. I love the 80s and 90s, and we were playing 80s and 90s pop music, and like. It wasn't my thing. Like, I wanted to play hip hop. But yeah, I tell you what though, it really put me out of my comfort zone. It made me a better DJ. So if I go to any sort of party, if I do someone's a corporate party, I'm prepared for that. I can. I'm versatile enough, and then that gives you, like, when you go to a corporate party, you'll meet people, and then you did a good job. They'll recommend you to other people. It just spreads like that organically. And like, if you're a nice person and you treat people like you want to be treated yourself, it kind of just spreads.
It's kind of just a natural progression.
Yeah,
by
man.
the sounds of it, like consistently doing your job and being good to people.
You know what? I find it tricky when I'm actually DJing, like doing the physical DJing, to build any kind of conversation with people. Because I find like I'm just so in my bubble to do it. Maybe to my detriment. Excuse me.
No, but you're concentrating on doing a good job. But that's not. It's not even afterwards or on email or like just answering people on time and delivering invoices, and like even when they're then taking time on payment, like. I'm not going to sweat Nike for not paying me in a month. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to pay me, like, whenever, really. Like, but I do get it. Sometimes you need the money ASAP. So I see it on both sides. But I just think if you deal with people the way you want to be dealt with yourself, you're always going to be onto a good thing.
So what's the plan for you now, Smoove man? Like, what's going on?
We were talking about exit plans, weren't we, the other day?
Yeah, we were.
Exit plans. Do you have one?
Do I have one? I don't yet.
We were talking about exit plans. You know, what a way to go.
We're
planning.
I do think
we're
it's
out,
important.
guys.
Like, you guys have got it sus though, man. You got like your video editing stuff. You got the podcasts. You're doing the clean edits. Like, that's a great exit. Like, you can do that forever. You don't have to be 22 and clean records. You don't have to be 22 and record a podcast. You can be whatever age you want.
That's true, but that business model only lasts as long as radio lasts.
Yeah.
As soon as radio becomes irrelevant.
Do you think that's going to happen soon?
Not soon, but I think it will happen.
Not soon.
It's not. I mean,
I can see how it could end up going that way.
Our lifetime.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. You see the way, like, actually, this sounds so dumb, but I don't really watch it that often. But does TV still happen, like, just broadcast, or is everything on demand?
No, it happens. I don't watch TV.
Can you just turn on channel 1 and then you have to watch whatever they're showing you at the time?
Yeah. Well, they give you what this guy does.
But everything went
we got to put double in, man.
I live in a cave, bruv. Just allow me. I live in a cave.
No, that's a very new age way of thinking about it, man.
Because if I want to watch something, I'll go onto Netflix and I'll find something to watch and I watch it, or I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch it when I want to watch it.
Okay.
I don't have a TV license at my house because I don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't watch TV.
Do you have a TV?
Yeah, I have a TV. But
okay. So only because when they knock on the door.
I was just,
mate, in uni, I
edit this bit out.
No, I ain't give a fuck. They can't do nothing. No, I only have a TV because Leanne made me get a TV when we got the house.
You have to have a TV. We have one, but it never gets turned on. I'm not going to lie.
Again, so my son, for example,
watches only YouTube, innit?
Netflix.
Oh, is it really?
Netflix. We've got a channel set up for him, and we watch it. So we have it through the Xbox, and he'll come in when he wants to watch Netflix. He'll turn the controller on. He knows how to navigate it. And he's 6. He can do everything. And he'll find his program and sit and watch it. Netflix. So like, I genuinely didn't know if like they'd still broadcast like, you have to watch this TV show at this time of day.
They do on demand now, so it's like,
well, that's what I'm saying.
They'll do something. They'll send you to the internet, and then you go back and watch.
That's
like,
the feature, man.
Watch.
Same with podcasting.
I end up binge watching though, bruv.
Well, but this on demand thing is.
It's brilliant, isn't it? You can watch it on a plane, and you don't have to,
because if I'm busy at a time when something's broadcasting, when I get back from the club, I'll just turn it on and watch it.
How do you guys like? I struggle to sleep like straight away after the club. Like even you guys drive to gigs and back. But, like,
so
when I used to drive, I used to take ages to even get out of the car. Like I'd be on my phone for ages.
Oh, that happens quite often.
I get shouted at, you know. The missus shouts. She's like, "Turn the engine off. You can't sit out there for like 45 minutes with the engine running. Like you're wasting petrol. Like you'll damage the car." Because I'll pull up and I'll spend like an hour in the car.
Yeah.
It's bad.
No,
it's cozy. The heating's on. My phone's
You don't
out.
need to switch off. Like
Exactly. I can't go and sit in the crib and like.
Yeah.
I leave the club and I'm like, I'm
what
G'd
I
up,
used
man.
to do, this is a really bad habit. I used to video game. So I used to
After the club.
After the club, I'd get in, turn the Xbox on, and just play like an hour. But then what I found was sometimes an hour, I'd be like, just one more game, and then I'd realise it's 6:30.
Xbox hole.
He doesn't watch TV, but he plays his Xbox and he gets in from the club.
I actually stopped
Such a
gaming now.
child.
I stopped playing in it completely now. But I used to get to like 6:30, and I'd be like, crap, Leanne and Roman are waking up in like half an hour.
Jesus.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah,
like, I
that's
can't imagine just sat there, just like some like little crackhead, and they're coming downstairs for breakfast, and I'm still there with my red eyes.
Because you've got the little one, so like you come home from the club, and then
You
it's
have to
late.
be awake. Yeah.
You gotta be up. Like
Not every day. When I'm playing in the clubs, I'm not up in the morning.
okay,
I don't get up until I'm up at like 11 o'clock. So.
I don't know if I could ever live that life, you know, guys. I'm saying,
Time
yo,
will tell,
my missus
bro.
don't watch this one.
I was gonna say that's one way to drop it to her.
I'm not ready for the commitment, man. Like I just coming back from the club, and then you got to look after the baby, and then obviously the wife is working full time, and then I'm trying to like.
But you know what? When it
do
happens,
as much as possible.
I think your whole mindset changes.
You
like,
adjust.
It's crazy.
You have to adjust. Like this, I have no choice. I can't not be a dad.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
I can't
That's
not
true.
DJ because that's where my money comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Gotta
alternative,
compromise it, yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, there's no alternative. So literally, I had to adjust and just had to get into it. And like,
now you're handling it, man.
it's cool.
You're handling
Like,
it.
I'm enjoying it as well. Not just handling it. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying being a dad. I'm enjoying work. I feel like some weeks I haven't, but most of the time the balance is right as well. Do you know what I mean? I learned.
Yeah,
I read a
it comes
couple of really
across
good
that on
books
your-
actually that taught me about that.
Really?
Does he ask about music? Does Roman get into the DJing?
What's
with
he
you?
into?
Or do you kind of
He
keep
is
it?
a massive Russ fan.
Really?
For
He
real?
loves Russ.
So that's
He loves
dope.
Russ.
Russ is sick.
He's a huge JME fan. He's a massive Giggs fan, and it's amazing. He actually met Giggs once. I know Giggs' brother Joe Grind very well, and we went to a Caribbean food shop once, and Giggs was there, and Roman recognised him from the Man Don't Care video.
Really?
It's probably
Yes.
like 2 years ago now. Roman was like, "Daddy, that's Giggs." I was like, "Yeah." And literally, I swear,
That's sick.
he just walked off, and he just went, "Are you Giggs?" And then I was stood on the other side of the room watching Giggs chat with my 6-year-old who was like 4 at the time, and they had like a 15-minute conversation.
He's
I've
such a
idea-
G, you
I
know.
have no
That's
idea
dope.
what
Such a
they
good
were
guy.
talking about, but they were just over there on the other side of the room just chatting. And then he came back, Roman came back, sat down, and we started eating. Like,
Heavy.
so bizarre. But yeah, so he's a massive Giggs fan. Who else does he like? He likes Drake. He likes Stormzy. So like, we made a massive point of not playing nursery rhymes in the car.
Really?
So
no Baby Shark and nothing like that.
Shit. No. Don't get me started.
GT's favourite song.
Yeah, no,
He's been having you ever since that, you know,
Oh,
bro.
no.
He's on you.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of drives as well because where my parents were to where I was living was like a 2-hour drive. I'm not listening to Old MacDonald on repeat for 2 hours. No, you're listening to and because I had the business cleaning music,
Yeah.
I've got clean edits of everything. So I can avoid the swear words in the music. Do you know what I mean? So that way. And also we played music into Leanne's stomach when she was pregnant.
Really?
Yeah, we made a playlist of all the stuff we
So
like.
he's going to be a musical
For real?
chap when he's
Yeah,
up.
I promise
hold on.
you. I promise you.
If he was to turn around and say, I want to be a DJ like you, like, would you push him into it? Or would you try and move him away from it?
It's tricky. I've always said like whatever he wants to do,
You can do it.
he can do.
Okay.
But the way I'll teach him is make sure it makes you happy.
Okay.
Because that's the key thing I've
Yeah.
got from my job is that I love DJing.
Yeah.
And so that's what keeps me going. That's what gives me the motivation to push and work as hard as I have. So if you want to do it all the while it makes you happy.
Fair.
If you don't,
There we go.
but
Yo,
yeah.
one thing I wanted to talk about today, obviously I know Martin plays a lot of open format stuff, different styles of sets, taking risks with music. I know,
Yeah.
like, you might play some next left field stuff,
Yeah.
and then you play some new shit, like, but then there's DJs out there that are completely like shook to even move away from the norm and or just stick to the bangers. Like, do you think taking risks is an important part of people's sets now, and kind of I don't know, like sets you apart from other people, or like what would you
Yeah.
say when it comes to that, man?
I think
Because
you
I
gotta
know
bring
you,
your own
you
style.
push it, bro. I know you push them selections.
It's calculated risks. Like
Okay.
I will, if I can push someone that direction. Oh, okay, I can push him there, so I can do a little bit left of that. Then further, you don't want to be going in cold and then throwing something really wild out there. Just take them little baby steps, but. Some risks are stupid. Like I saw, was it G2?
We had this conversation like 2 weeks ago, man. Came up, the baby
he
shark.
was about to at a sound clash. I saw this. He was about to play R. Kelly at the sound clash.
Oh my gosh!
What recently? Obviously, yeah.
Recent. This is after the scandal.
Legend.
He just like. I think he just likes to push the boundaries.
Yeah,
push
100%,
people's
man.
buttons.
He does it to be
I don't
controversial.
think
He knows what he's
what
doing.
the boundaries are.
No, there ain't no boundaries for great. I never got to go to the last sound clash, to be fair. Was
I
that
never
the
went
last one?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
I missed it, man. I still feel, the first sound clash. We should have won that still.
Yeah, jury's out, man.
So
Do you know what it is?
I'm never gonna
You
get
lot
over that.
smashed it. And
I
then
thought we'd done a good
we
job,
just had
man.
really good videos, and then
Yeah,
it
you
looked
smacked
afterwards. It looked good.
See,
That's
this
it.
guy's got Eve popping up on the screen.
Yeah,
Piers
that's
Morgan,
yeah. The
Trevor
Piers
Nelson,
Morgan.
and we've just got like a few like cheap ass dub plates and that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we didn't really stand a chance, to be fair.
I wanted to do, if we did it this year, I was trying to get like Lord Sugar to do like your
Oh
fire
my
ones
God.
and
Man, like
just,
Alan.
yeah, I was trying to get all of that stuff, but we never did it in the end. But yeah,
How do you even go about getting that kind of content? That's your network.
yeah,
isn't
you know
it?
what?
Like,
It
Like,
goes back to that, doesn't it?
do you know Alan Sugar?
I know him through Piers, so
Right.
we follow each other on Twitter. But like, yeah, for that one, I'd have to ask him. It's not like I have as good a relationship as I did with Piers or something like that. And like with Piers, he's so controversial.
I was just about to say, he
Like,
loves
I don't
it.
agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but I agree with what he's a man that he has his opinion and he stands by it.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
like what you are, like with DJing. Like, this is how I feel it should be. Like, and like he sticks to it. And I respect that, but I don't respect generally all the stuff he says. But I respect him for how he goes about it, and like I respect him as a person. He's always really nice to me, and yeah, I just asked him if I could do it, and he said, "Yeah, of course."
I never thought I'd see you do the morning breakfast as well, man. Like, Piers is kind of, I think he's softened up a little bit. He used to be way more controversial.
Did he?
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he was, man. I never used to like dig him too much. Like, and I see he goes on Twitter and he knows how to rattle people.
Yeah,
But,
massive.
but again, it's just part of his image and his brand, innit? You did his
Birthday, yeah. That was.
What? Yeah.
How,
so
how did that work out for you?
How did that set even go? I would not know. I wouldn't know what songs to play.
Oh man, it
at
was
Piers
it was
Morgan's
Was it
so
a full
like,
mixed bag?
mixed bag. But like, there's certain timeless music, like, which is a shame now. Like Michael Jackson's in this like this situation. Like he's a go-to guy for those sort of music.
Yes,
parties.
man.
Bruno Mars, James Brown, Prince.
So do you think Michael's off the list now?
No, I'm still gonna play him. I know it's probably.
Did you watch the documentary?
Not all of it. I saw the first half an hour.
I didn't see. I didn't see.
I
any of it.
watched half.
Have
I
you
watched
stopped?
and I wrote it off. It was.
Are you never gonna play his stuff again now?
No, I've not. I'm not writing Michael Jackson off, man. Bro, it's
You know
a
what it
weird
is?
one with MJ. I wouldn't be into music if it weren't for my
Yeah,
fault.
yeah.
My first record was the Bad album.
Yeah.
I've still got it. Like,
The first vinyl I ever owned was Remember the Time,
okay.
and I won it. Get this, I won it in a dancing competition at a primary school disco.
What?
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Like
all coming out now.
but those kind of memories,
Insert footage.
and even like all of the Michael Jackson albums. Me and my best friend used to sit in the back row of my mum's car. She had a 7-seater car, Peugeot, one of these ugly long things, where the back seats were in the boot, facing out the back.
Yeah.
Do you remember them ones?
Yeah.
And we used to sit in the back
Look
with
out
our
the back.
with our Sony Walkmans in, listening to the same Michael Jackson song and singing the words on the way back from school. Do you know what I mean? And it's these kind of memories and stuff. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm
I
not
don't know how
ready
I
to
feel
throw
about it,
those
bro.
memories
I know,
away
man.
and taint it.
It's a
Like-
situation at the moment, man. Like even like Cardi's in hot water at the moment as well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
where do we separate the artist from their music, like their personality from their music? Like at some point, someone's going to get loads of parking tickets, and we're going to have to like stop playing their music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like Cardi kind of like. I've not read into the situation properly, but I feel like that's just semi being pushed on. Like
It's one of them
not,
ones,
it's not
man.
really
It's-
being entertained.
It's,
Like
it's just it's just an Instagram outrage thing, and it's because it was raised on Instagram, it will come and go real quick. I feel like the Michael Jackson situation's been a full documentary about it, so it will last a bit longer. But ultimately, by the end of the year, no one's going to be talking about it.
The same people stood trial and claimed, and it was cleared through both people.
I've just
who
seen
have
stuff
now released this, and some of the stuff they say is horrific, man. It's a bit intense, mate.
Yeah, but
I'm a hardcore MJ fan as well. Like,
have you stopped playing his music?
No.
To be honest,
you don't probably haven't, Warren.
I only have one night in the week that I would play Michael Jackson music, and because it's a student night, that is a completely open format one. I always make sure I do a completely different set every week, so I'm diving in and out of all sorts of genres.
That's a solid DJ.
Come on, Jay.
No, I don't want to be that same guy that's like, right, it's 1:05, now I'll transition into house music, and then I'll transition out of that using it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be different.
That's
all the
solid,
time.
man.
But so the Michael Jackson one that would straight away come to mind would be like Man in the Mirror. That's in the last half hour of the night when you're dumping all the student sing-alongs and stuff. I haven't played it since this whole thing's happened, but not because I'm like, I'm worried that someone might say something.
Switching your setup.
Just because I'm switching things up all the time. The only other one I can think, actually, no, remember the time, if I was ever doing any kind of like New Jack Swing style thing, when you do the Candy and then Poison and all that sort of...
It's mad how it's so crazy how everybody moves into the same little bits. Like it's
remember
mad.
the time would be in that sort of New Jack Swing type set if I'm doing it. And then Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. Around that kind of set, but I have not had many opportunities to play those kind of sets recently. So
I got told to not play one at the, believe it or not, it was at the 6th day.
Really?
And it was a little edit. It wasn't a full MJ song. It was in the little power mix that I had. And it just come into little things like, stylist, after this, just try and stay away from the mic.
They do it so nicely.
Yeah, it was like so nice to me. I was like, okay, well, it's all good. I stayed away from it.
I went in a shop, literally around the time it was all popping off on social media, and they were playing it. First of all, they had SWV Right Here,
which samples Human Nature.
And then straight after that was, I think, Black and White. So literally a Michael Jackson sampled record followed by, I felt like they did it deliberately, but I was just like, good. I'm glad to hear it. And the other thing is, again, coming back to my son, he's a massive Michael Jackson fan.
Yeah, I know a lot of children that like even born way after he passed away that love his music, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
His music is so timeless, and it still touches the new generations. Like,
not only that,
that's why it hurts even more.
It's really great music, and like he was a great singer. So he was someone, obviously. Michael Jackson's music played a massive part in my musical background. I wanted to have that same impression on my son. Roman, right? If you say to him, what album is Remember the Time on, he will tell you.
Really?
Even down like, what album is Rock With You on? He'll tell you. And then he'll be, Daddy, can you play Girlfriend? I'll be like, what album is it on? And he'll tell me, and then he gets to put it on. Like,
wow.
That's sick,
what I mean?
man.
So he knows.
He's going to be really musical when he's older. Are you going to encourage him with like an instrument or...
Yeah, he plays guitar.
Really?
He plays guitar. I mean, he plays Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, so he's not like...
Yeah, but
he's not on the... He's not doing a stadium.
I don't expect him to be Jimi Hendrix just yet.
Yeah, he's not doing a stadium tour just yet, but yeah. He can play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
What if he went out and he said, look, I want to be in a thrash metal... like heavy metal band, like what would
you know? What music is music. As long as your band ain't rehearsing at my house, then you go and do your thing. Like, but yeah.
So, what you just mentioned then, when it comes to like with your sets, and you try and jump in a little bit different every time you do a set. You know, what I mean, spread
that's
it
so
out.
sick. Like it's so easy to get in a rut, man.
I had this thing recently where I felt like I always try and do the same thing, but I just felt like I was getting stuck in a little bit of a. I was like in a bit of a rut, man. Like not like skill wise, technically. Like I'm still doing my thing, and I was just like, I need to just pull away, and that's why I arranged that tour thing, because I wanted to go around and just re-engage myself, man. Like, you know, when you're playing out 4 or 5 nights a week, it's like bam, 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 bam.
And you don't have time to see other DJs play and get inspiration.
Exactly.
And that's so important as well, you know, because when you hear other DJs, they might play something.
That's a banger. I haven't played that in ages.
Exactly.
And get a reaction. And I'm thinking, this happened just the other day, actually, in Southampton. Shouts to DJ K-Dog. He's Sneakboat's tour DJ. But,
okay.
We did a show in Southampton last week. I don't remember which record it was now. Yeah, it was...
what did he pull out?
It was that Marshmello and Roddy Ricch tune. I can't remember the name of it.
I know which one you mean.
Literally, I just play it
I've
earlier.
never played it
because it's just about... He played it in the middle of the night. Everyone went sick.
Sick.
And I was like, right, you're playing this, like...
This is the thing, when you play to yourself over and over, you kind of just like go into your own little...
That song would have stayed in the warm-up. I'm still doing Die Young's still Roddy Ricch. Like, I mean, like, not Die Young. How is it called? How Is It? The one with Chip and Young Bane.
I have not been playing that out, I'm not going to lie.
Bro, play it out and see the reaction.
Working, yeah.
That was really working. But it was the Marshmello and Roddy Ricch one that I was so surprised about. And that's opened my eyes to that.
And that transcends just hip-hop as well. Like, I think it's...
definitely.
Like, for student crowds, that's a big record, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But I wouldn't have thought to play that at that time of night. That would have been literally one of my first hour songs. Do you know what I mean? Just
it's so good watching other DJs DJ.
I think it's
to other DJs.
vital to get out and listen to other DJs.
And I think, like, even if you don't have time, like we do it a lot in London, like me, Andy, CJ, and like some of the DJs in the West End. Shout out to Charles and Jojo. Like, we share set lists. Like, we share. Oh, look, this is my history from last night. This is my history.
Oh, really?
And it's a really cool
real?
way to do that.
I've never ever heard of that between DJs.
I have never heard that before.
No, we always do, man.
You've ever even shared it?
I'm not sharing with you.
No, it's a really good way. Like, oh god, that's how you warm up, or you warm up till then, or like, it's like
that's actually sick.
It's a really cool way to do it, and you kind of all bounce ideas off each other, and like sharing histories is a really dope thing.
Yeah,
after that tour, bro, I came back and I was like, yo, my first couple of sets after that tour. Bling.
Yeah, but it's nice to play in different places, isn't it? When you're playing
and
the
that
same
too,
spots,
and that as well,
and it's the same walls, and a lot of the time the same regulars. You know how they're going to react. You're just in the comfort zone. Getting out on tour and playing in different cities all across the country. Like, what pops in Newcastle? We've had conversations where I've said to
different areas are included on different levels, isn't it?
And he's like, we couldn't even play that in Manchester if we wanted to. He's like, it's a shit song anyway, but do you know what I mean? And they wouldn't react to it in Manchester. Similarly, I've played somewhere out of my comfort zone where I thought this is really popping back home. Played it. Lead balloon.
So regional, isn't it?
It's definitely a regional thing. Like, I have residencies like up in Preston, which is up from Manchester. Then we've got Liverpool over to the left, and the Manny ones. And I approach every single one completely different.
Really? Even in that short area?
Even in that short area, man, yeah. And then I have a Saturday spot which is like completely open. And you can play anything from grime to hip-hop to MJ to just anything, bro.
Like, your Saturday sort of
I love it. Saturday's the one, man. And it's a full night, so it's like 11 till 4. It's a long set, but because... you just have the complete freedom to do. That's my favourite spot, man. Sorry to talk about other spots. I love you all too, obviously. but that's my favourite spot.
So that one, is that like a niche crowd that like? Would you say that was a specialist crowd, or is that open format?
Basically, when I went into there, they had a specific crowd, and it was more like classic hip hop, like R&B 90s stuff. And then I come in, and I started on a Thursday doing little guest sets. They moved me on to the Friday. Then they were like, oh. Do you want the Saturday? I'm contracted to them now. I can't play anywhere within that northern quarter area.
Right.
They're kind of using me as like their USP thing.
Yeah.
So then when I put my crowd in and mixed it with the older lot, but because it's good vibes, the older lot and the younger lot have just kind of gone like this. And they just appreciate
that is for me
anything.
The epitome of a good night, man.
It's
like you have
sick,
every sort of race, every age, different musical taste, but all kind of in the black music genre, and like that's what I try and do with Holler Back, man. We play anything from old school to new cool, like
old school to new cool.
He's got a strap right in there.
Yeah,
I love that.
And that is going every Friday in London, so from May. So watch out for that. But yeah, it sounds just like that, man.
It's my favourite spot, man. I think they're the best ones. I have specialist ones where it's all new UK, new hip hop, and I love them too, man. But I like ones where I can go right across and show your music, like the knowledge, man. Like,
my favourite nights to play is when there's a big artist or a big headliner coming on.
Really?
And I get the set beforehand.
Do you know what? I hate that.
Really? I tell you why, because the place is packed.
Yeah.
If it's a big artist, the place is rammed. And that's where I feel, because I host a lot as well, so like I can get a lot of my character over. I've got like that's just a pre-made fan base right in front of me, so I can really like host and play with them. No matter what I play, doesn't matter anything I play, they're not leaving because they've paid the money to see the next guy.
But do you think they treat it more like a concert rather than a dance?
I had that situation last week actually, and that was the only thing, was everyone was facing the front, but it was so rammed.
Yeah.
I even had to stop the music twice and be like, right, you lot at the back, take a step back.
Yeah,
everyone. The music was off for like 5 minutes, so I was like, you guys move back because this are about to die at the front. They were literally up against the barriers, and there was some girl. It looked like her eyes were about to pop out of her head, man. God. So I was like, everyone step back. I even said, like, I'm not putting the music on till this side of the front can breathe. And it took a few minutes.
For real?
Yeah, I had to, bruv. Like,
That sounds intense.
I've
it
done
was
that before.
mental. So there is that where it can be a bit jarring, and like playing certain songs. Obviously, so the girls can't get down whining and stuff. So there is that. But for me,
they're gonna go away thinking, oh, that
vibes wise, like when you just see like there was pockets of mosh pits popping up, like all sort of like that. It's just an easy job, and like I say, you can take more risks.
Yeah,
I can throw it left even more because they're not going to leave.
Yeah.
And even if it doesn't work, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to stand still. Well, then I just play another banger, and then they're on it again. Do you know what I mean?
That's how you
like,
kind of take risks. You sandwich them in.
The sandwich technique. Yes, the sandwich technique.
Yeah, 2 certified bangers either side.
Yeah, and one in the middle. And you know what? I did that on the weekend with Gunlean and Homerton B, and I put Dr. Vade's ringtone in the middle.
Yeah, and no one.
It went off.
Really?
Dr. Vade's, apart from like, Homerton B, got the biggest response, but I just thought it wasn't going to work as well as it did because it's kind of a new track.
Sick.
It went off.
I've only played that. I played that once. I've only played that once.
I reloaded it. Had to reload it, bruv. Like it was massive reaction, which I didn't expect.
Where was this?
That was in Romford.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I've got a Saturday night spot.
Really?
Yeah,
you know what?
sick.
That's probably the first club I ever went to as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to school in Hornchurch. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. So that's like on the high street, right? And
Used to be Fiction.
Yeah. And before that was like Time and Envy or stuff like
that's
that.
right. Yeah. Same place.
Big club that is, man.
Yeah, massive, wicked venue as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Double only played. All your spots are big room venues, right?
No,
The majority of them. We don't have any big room venues,
kind of.
man.
I mean,
up north. It's so poor.
so Attic, where I play on a Saturday, I play like the R&B. They call it the Curve Room.
Yeah.
So that's where like all the R&B and hip hop and bashment will be played.
Yeah.
Then there's the main room. Where it's all like house and drum and bass and dubstep. And
so is it a bit weird that I played the main room in this Luminar up north because they have the curved thing? They have that other.
It's weird that you call it Luminar.
Well, whatever. Oh yeah, it's not Luminar now. It's Deltic, innit? Oops.
No, because it depends. Because some nights, like my Monday night, is a Deltic venue.
Okay.
And I'm in the main room there.
Right.
I just do what I want.
Yeah, same.
And that
same.
is
I have to find
R&B,
somehow. I
hip-hop,
have to put it
dancehall.
in the house and stuff. I have to mix it up a little bit. But then I didn't know what the other DJs were playing in the other room until they tagged me in a video last week. And then there's mosh pits, the Mo Bamba and that. I'm like,
I'm playing that in the other room.
what's going on up there then in the other room? And I'm down here in the main room.
Yes.
Anyway, we don't. That's the only big room venue within the reach of us, unless you're talking warehouse and stuff.
Yeah.
And you've got like Level in Liverpool, but they're kind of locked into their that's locked into their own thing. So yeah, we don't have any big. I play one big room venue, and that's on the Wednesday. Besides that, it's more like bars and bar like with the clubby vibe. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I need more big room venues still, man. It's different. I think you have to approach them a little bit different. You use the mic a lot. A lot. I'm not a full on mic guy, and I think that's just because a lot of the places
you don't need it,
and they don't want it. A lot of them up
Yeah,
north.
I found that up north.
So many gigs I don't even use the mic at.
Okay.
Like the West End, I never really use the mic.
Try to let the music do the talking, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I tried to
But
do.
I love using it. But yeah,
I love a bit of mic work, mate. I absolutely love it.
You love it. You come and did Mr. Litty that time and just engaged the whole place, man. Like,
It's
I
just
think it's a different level of confidence and skill in itself to host and do your thing at the same time, but do it well.
But you know what? I find even just being able to use the mic means you're able to transition and change from genres or tempos
100.
so much easier.
Yeah,
you could be like, you can just be up in the 105s blasting that stuff out. But if you want to get down to 60 somehow, stop it, do a birthday shout out, play birthday sex.
yeah.
That's
Do
true.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then you just-
Or
does
like a
completely-
acapella loop, and then
you
drop
can
it.
completely change it. Or even just one, the other day, what was it? I stopped the music. I couldn't figure out how to get Dave location into this particular
It's at that one
mix.
It's nearly at the lost tempo.
It's close to the lost tempo.
110.
And I couldn't figure out quite how I was going to get into it, but I knew I really wanted to play it soon. And I was like,
That's the biggest.
I just
tune right now.
I just stopped the music, and then I was just, this was in Guildford, and I basically talked about the fact I wasn't from there, and if anyone knew of any after parties after the club, do me one favour, press play, send me a location. Boom,
Yes.
everyone went sick, and I was like, I felt like a G. And by the way, you lot are welcome to use that now.
There you go.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's just, you know what I mean,
Please,
those
Saturday.
kind of things where I perfectly brought, I say it sounds so arrogant, well, I perfectly brought the tune in, but I was able to stop the music, do like a link, and then bring the tune in, and it all made sense.
I know having all of those things in your artillery is like dope. Like you can be able to cut up, be able to use the mic. Like you can. There's no situation where you won't be phased. Pretty much. Like
Piers Morgan's birthday party, I'd probably be pretty.
Ah,
so
no.
I wouldn't know.
I'd be questioning every selection.
Yeah, I know.
I'd be like,
no, the dance floor is busy. Like, do you know what? In that party, I remember Ian Wright came up to me, and go, look, can I have one song? And he asked
this guy.
Yeah, and as soon as it came on, he's like, you know what Ian Wright.
Yeah,
like,
Ian Wright's
he
a
was like,
legend,
go
man.
Smoothie, go.
Yeah, see it.
I just thought, what a G. You're everything I expected.
That must be mad for you as an Arsenal fan growing up as well, and now like you're kind of moving around. He's like, bro, if I got asked to play a United party, I won't be able to keep my cool. No way, man.
Nah, of course you will. You will.
I don't know if I would. Like, I am the sickest like United fan from as long as I can remember. I definitely would be super gassed on a different level.
But I think you would like.
I say that now in the situation. I might
yeah,
approach
you
it
definitely
different,
would. Like that's what I think. As tour DJs, you've got to kind of hold your cool sometimes.
Yeah.
Man. Like you'll never see me take videos while she's performing.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
no.
Okay.
Just what if I take a video and something happens?
Yeah, the sort of
Like,
the song stops. And
Yeah,
you're
man.
honest.
I would, and you'll never see me like take selfie videos with the artists and stuff like that. Like that's not my job, man. It's like, you know what I mean.
I feel like the artists respect that stuff way more as well, man. Like you can't be out there. There's a way to hold yourself in these circles, isn't there? Like it doesn't.
There's certain things you've got to think as well. Like it's deeper than just getting content for the gram. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could have posted up some sick stories over the weekend, but I'm too busy. Like I'm actually
living the
on
moment,
my job
actually
right
doing
now,
the job.
doing the job.
Yeah.
And like you say, if something went wrong, and the artist turns around and you're there, like
imagine what that looks like.
The music's jumped, anything's gone wrong with it, and you're there trying to get your content. Like that's messing up that performance, right? Like the most I do is set up a GoPro,
but that's different,
and then have it running, and just at the end. But I tried that, and actually the GoPro, the battery ran out before the show started.
It's good, and that's a good way to analyze your sets as well. Like, I could have jumped in there, or I could have done something differently.
Yeah.
I've been putting a GoPro up as different.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. During my DJ sets, I'll take an Insta story and stuff. But if I'm DJing and someone is performing, if I'm in charge of their music, like.
Yeah.
Nice. You still doing the events, you Smoove? You still tapped into the promo side of things?
Yeah, massively. We're starting. It starts in May.
Every Friday in London. What's the venue?
3rd of May. O'Meara, and it's you love that venue. Like it's a music person's venue. It's owned by one of the guys from Mumford and Sons, so it's an independent venue. It's just dope, man.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
And so that's going to be that's the
Friday,
new wave now, yeah?
Every Friday will be there.
Okay.
So it'll be good. Like we'll have Andy down there and a few of my friends. We have to get you guys down there at some point. Like
there we go. Hey, bookings, come on.
And some camera as well, so you can't. I can't back out of that one.
I feel like a lot of DJs are doing that more now and getting into like. Cause I remember when we started jamming stuff, like it was a new thing for DJs to kind of. It wasn't where we were anyway. No DJs were taking on the responsibility of doing it all themselves and cutting them out. I feel like now a lot of DJs are carrying their own energy and then building their own stuff instead of promoters booking you or whatever. Like I think it's sick. Like we always used to say it when we started Jam. Our little slogan was like, "We are not promoters." That was our angle. We're like, we're DJs, but we're just gonna throw these parties in it.
Yeah.
It just became way bigger than we ever could have thought it could have got. And then we're like, shit, right, we actually are promoters now. Do you know what I mean? That's the way it got. And then obviously now I feel there's people just popping up left, right, and centre doing their own events, man. I think it's sick. And then you got your new shit starting. Doubles tapped into a little bit now as well.
Are you throwing your own events?
Yes, no. I partnered up with my good friend r.o.a.d.
Okay.
From Southampton. He's been running. He has a company called Real Urban Music.
Yeah.
Been running events down in Southampton 10 years plus, and really like monopolised that southern corner there. And then him and I partnered up last year. Actually came about because I lost a club residency.
Okay.
They decided to change the music policy to like cheesy 90s and dance music.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's not
me.
that's not me. I wouldn't know where to start, but I don't want to do it. So I had to sit down with r.o.a.d. We went to Amsterdam for a meeting, so we could basically it's all tax deductible, decent meeting there.
This guy not messing about, you know.
Business meeting in Amsterdam with r.o.a.d. We could have met in Southampton, but why not? Let's get on the plane. And yeah, so we started doing like events together now, and they've been decent.
I think it's so important for DJs to do it because you build up your own crowd, your own following, your own fan base, but you can base a night about you, man. Like you can, like it can be like if you want to play the latest upfront music, that can be your domain, your place, your home to showcase that.
Absolutely.
Whereas I do it just for a fun night. I want it to be fun. I want it to be like London is all about exclusiveness. It's all about standing in a queue and not getting in. Whereas our night is all about
have fun.
Yeah, and you're like, it doesn't matter if you're 50, it doesn't matter if you're 80. You're invited if you're there to have a good time.
Ones, man. Like I can't do like it's just my preference. I'll spin in these spots, but on a night out,
you wouldn't
go
go there.
Place I would go.
Yeah.
Like we built Jam on that. Like Jam, like was just about music. We wanted it to be about music and energy and vibes alone. That was it. Like we had a couple tables in there, but it was like it was like 150.
People
quid
buy
between,
into
like,
that,
eight
man.
of yous, mate. Like we weren't outpricing no one. It was cheap entry and like that kind of stuck. Now we don't have anything like that in Manny. So we're coming back in.
Yes. Yeah.
Come
It's
on.
on the way back. So there's a question for you. We had this conversation the other day actually. Or did we talk about this? Or was it just an idea? About the tour DJs?
Yeah, I listened to that.
Oh, so we did it.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember then
about like don't rinse out all the tracks before the artist comes on.
Yeah, that was the one.
So it's funny because I've seen both sides of the coin. I had a situation last year where I was playing and then the tour DJ came on to do a 15-minute set before the main artist and blasted through everything.
Americans do that, don't they? A lot, I think.
This was an English guy. I mean, the Americans
It's an
do
English
do
dude.
it. The Americans do it, but I mean, this was an English guy. But I still had 2 hours to play after they had finished their PA.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, and again, like I have the rule where if a song's been played, it's been played. Like that's it in the bin.
Even if it was like 10, 20 seconds of it, like Tatiana just
on
say,
that,
for
I'll be
example.
honest. On that night, I bent the rules because
Yeah.
he rinsed through. So he did a lot of like.
So in 15
one
minutes,
chorus
he must have
drops.
stayed
Absolutely
about.
buried
there was-
double in the
50
sand.
Oh mate, yeah, I was in some shit. I'm not gonna lie. So I think there was 2 songs that he just blasted like part of the chorus.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it was okay. The 30-second rule.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
slide.
So that's where I bent it slightly, but generally the rest of the time I haven't. But as a tour DJ, what's your take on it? Because you've obviously must have had times where you're coming into the club and then you're coming on to set the vibe right before Eve touches the mic. So where do you come at it with?
If it's a club show, and I think it's important that the tour DJ goes on beforehand, to make sure that equipment's running right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you got to run a few songs just to make sure everything's sounding right, you're running right, turntables are cool, CDJs are cool. But I think it's important to, like, if the warm-up DJ's already playing the hits, why don't you switch it up, bring up like completely change it up? Especially with Eve, I can play some old stuff like some DMX or Rough Riders stuff.
Yeah.
You can really have fun with it. But it is really important in that same sentence to say that you need to have it popping before the artist comes on. Like,
100%.
yeah. So it's
crowd needs to be lit.
yeah. So I do understand it, but I think there's ways about you can do it, and you can be creative about it, and still give other people, the other DJs, a chance. And like I always say this, like everyone has to play their position in a club night. Like a warm up is just as important, if not more important, than the headline DJ, because you set the tone. And the whole point of a club night for me is to have as many people at the end of the night in there at the end when it's closed, or the last song. You don't want people leaving early because they're burnt out at 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. You want it to. So if everyone plays their position and like
Chucky was just saying that one about people playing positions.
Exactly,
like,
almost
the
exactly
most
the same
important-
words. about
literally
playing
the
your
same
position.
words.
Yeah.
it's so cool. Like having a clique of DJs that you're cool with. Like I know what Andy's gonna play in the main set. So if I was playing up before him, I'll cater for him.
Okay.
Set him up. And like for years I've been warm up, man. I've been warm up for Trevor for years. So I kind of know how to.
I feel like
it's etiquette.
But that's almost the way it should be, though. Like the younger, inexperienced DJs should be the warm-ups.
Yeah, it's like when you talked about having an apprentice.
Yeah, precisely that. I mean, I came up DJing when I was doing the early Twice as Nice days. I came up DJing before Scotty B.
And what a great place to learn.
And after Scotty B.
Yeah.
If you know anything about the way Scotty B DJs, savage, but every song ever made.
100,000 songs in an hour.
And he does it so well.
My God,
Incredibly.
he's crazy
But
skilled,
then
man.
me as a DJ, and I always had this rule of I can't play a song. I knew I couldn't rinse any big songs before Scotty was coming on. And he plays everything ever made. The fuck do I play? Because I've now got 2 hours. I remember one set in particular. I think it was in Bournemouth. And the CEO of Twice and I, Steve Gordon, was in the DJ box.
And he's quite strict as well.
Mate, he was in the DJ box. And he says, I think the first time I'd ever met him as well. And Scotty finished.
Intense.
Dr. Psycho was hosting the night as well. They both had finished. and now it's just on me, and Steve Gordon's there, mate. But I still blitz through it, and that was That's how I learned to really control a crowd by going with a different selection. Do you know what I mean?
And
like,
getting out of your comfort zone, man. Like playing stuff that's not the bangers makes you a better DJ.
Yeah.
Like it gives you a better knowledge, and like you can just
smash a set without touching the main bangers.
Yeah.
Like it's how you put it out there, how you drop the songs, like the whole thing.
That's
like,
what I feel like's missing from a lot of the younger guys now, because they're not
go for the straight bangers.
Yeah, they're not trained to do that sort of stuff. They're not coming on before, and not only that, I feel like not enough DJs will say to them, not so much like don't play this and that, but just advise them like,
as long as you do it constructively,
like just take time, like play the stuff that you want to play and just warm them up.
And do you know what? Like, it's so ironic that we were talking about this conversation about playing all the bangers, and that's what people just play. When now we have access to so much music,
almost every song ever made you can get within 10 seconds. If you know how to find it.
Before we'd only have like what we carried in our CDJ pouch or
imagine
CD
the
pouch,
pressure now of going to the club and you've got to take one crate.
You know what I used to?
Like you would be thinking, like,
did you just used to have your bags ready all the time and then just add new ones to it?
Yeah, and then you'd have to, when it was so packed, you'd have to take a couple out.
See, after every set, I had my vinyls stacked alphabetically, and after every set, I would unload my bags,
really,
back, and then. I mean,
he's the DJ's DJ.
The guy said he had them in alphabetical order.
Yeah, alphabetical order.
The dedication.
Numbers first. Alphabetical order, so 1 to 9, and yeah, after every set, my bags would be unloaded, everything back, and then the afternoon that I knew I was doing a club set. These times I wasn't playing like 5 nights a week. I was doing, I think, probably Fridays and Saturdays. But yeah, and then I would hand pick the songs I wanted to play that night.
Yeah, you went in, bro.
Obviously, there were some that consistently were in and out every day, but
I was the guy with all the ripped sleeves,
like the
vinyls hanging out, big scratches on the back of them.
My 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying album looks like I've been chewing it. Like honestly, the amount of times the vinyl's been in and out because I was playing.
There were so many bangers on the album, man. Club bangers.
That was a great year.
Yeah, when you used to play tracks off the album. Like when you were out,
well, that particular album,
because then you'd have like 10 tracks, and then you have the little tiny gap in between.
But
but stuff like What Up Gangster wasn't released on a single, is it? Stuff like.
I feel like I have it on single.
Really?
Do you?
I think so. Maybe it might have been a promo or a B-side.
I remember having Wankster was on the other side of In the Club.
That was it.
Wankster,
that was on the other side of In the Club. That was on the B-side. I remember that one.
That's what I'm thinking of. But also, it saved space. Because instead of having all these separate vinyls, I've just got all of them on vinyl.
I remember, I might get in trouble for this. I used to go into the vinyl shops, and then there'd be like, it was when I was doing garage, so they used to do like the 4-pack of vinyls, and it'd be like 15 tracks on them. But then I'd only want like 3 tracks off like one specific vinyl in this pack that costs like 30 quid. So I'd swap it. So I'd take the vinyl that I wanted. Obviously back then you had turntables in HMV, you could go and play them or whatever. So casual display. This is so bad when I think back. I'm so annoyed.
No, loads of people did that, man. They used to get the stick in the free for £10.
Bought shitloads of garage.
Part of hustle, bro. The hustle was real. Like you say, buying £8 on a vinyl, but then never mind 30 quid to get 2 free songs. So I'd take them and listen to them, and I'd accidentally put that back in the other thing. Got it for 7-8 quid. Hustler, mate. The hustle was real.
We've had some gems from Martin too.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming through, bro. We've been meaning to get you on for time, and you do listen to it a lot, man.
Yeah, man.
The guy's dropping in on his honours, you know.
No, honestly, I always it's a good thing to listen to. I love listening to podcasts after the club. Like, I don't want to listen to music, especially when my ears are battered from a 4-hour set or whatever.
I hear that.
And it's a great listen. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, my bro.
First birthday, so happy birthday, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Second, third, fourth, fifth.
This is just the start for us, man. Like we said, we'll do the year, see where we're at, and then I think now is like we're really going to try and put the foot down on it, and and we'll see how we go. But Smoove.
Just don't stop. Keep going.
You're flying, bro. Keep flying, my G. Keep flying.
Thanks for having me.
Hashtag Talkover Podcast. Can't forget to drop that in there. Subscribe on Spotify, YouTube,
Apple Music.
We're on Apple Music now as well. We're making moves out here, cuz.
We're out here.
And that's it.
Let's get it.
Thank you, bro.
Nah, thank you. I enjoyed that. It was really
good. That's it. My guy. Thank you, bro. My belly.
I hope it was all right content-wise for you, man.
No, that'll be sick. That's sick. Like the